right, today I want to talk about the Sunday basket. And before you say, oh, yep, tried that, did not work for me, I want to propose just a couple simple changes that I think you could make that will really make it work for you. So today, let's talk about what a Sunday basket is, if you're not familiar, how to set one up very quickly and inexpensively, but more importantly, just a couple changes or adjustments you can make that will make it actually work for you. And this really can help you get paper clutter under control in your house. So it's a worthwhile pursuit. Don't give up on the Sunday basket yet. Well, you've probably heard of a Sunday basket. It was created by Lisa from Organized 365, and it's really a great idea, right? But for so many of us, that regular organizing tips and tactics haven't worked for us. For me, like many, this ended up in like the graveyard of things I tried that never worked. But I knew that this was something we need to do. Like, we need to have a time every week where we pay bills and we deal with our household paper clutter. I knew there had to be a way that we had to make this work for us. And so I was determined to find a few adjustments we could make to the Sunday basket, where if it has not worked for you in the past, it really could work for you now. So real quick, I want to talk about what a Sunday basket is, and then we'll talk about the changes we can make to make it work for anybody. And lastly, how you can set one up for free, very inexpensively, no overhead, low commitment, so you can just try it out and see if it works for you before you buy anything fancy for it. All right, so let's talk about what a Sunday basket is. So again, this was from Lisa from Organized 365. She noticed when she had 2 young kids at home that she needed to have a time every week where she could go through the household paperwork. So she created a basket that she put all that stuff in, and then every Sunday night after the kids went to bed, she would sit down with her Sunday basket and go through it. It's brilliant, right? Great idea, Lisa. But the problem is, if you don't stay up on the Sunday basket, if you don't do it every Sunday, or if it gets full of so much stuff it overwhelms you, you avoid the Sunday basket like a plague, right? And then I just said the Sunday basket doesn't work. So let's get into a few changes that you could make to make a Sunday basket successful for you. So change number 1 is that I couldn't put everything in it. I just couldn't, because it was too much. And so Lisa will talk about like literally taking your mail and just putting it in the basket. You'll deal with it on Sunday. Don't open the bills, don't do anything, plop it in your Sunday basket. And for me, then when I would look at my Sunday basket and I would see all that stuff piled up in it, it just felt overwhelming. And so it was too much for me. So one thing that I started doing was pre-sorting the stuff that I put in there. So I only put in there stuff that absolutely had to be done. And then the other stuff that I wasn't sure if I would need or if it was for reference, I started putting it in my time will tell bin. So I've talked about this a little bit in my paper clutter videos and how we set up a paper clutter system in our house. But the time will tell bin is a basket that I have that I put anything that does not require action. It might be something that I might decide to act on in the future, but it doesn't require action. So I've talked about things like seed catalogs, paint samples, a quote to get the carpet cleaned, all of this stuff that I need, but I don't want to archive it forever, and I don't have to do anything with it. Like the seed catalogs, I may decide to order from it, I may not. If I don't, nothing bad happens, right? And so I like sorting that stuff out into my time will tell basket, because it keeps the amount of to-do stuff I have in here, or my perception of how much there is to do, to a minimum. Another change I make is that I open up the mail as it comes in. So if we get a bill, I open it up, I pull out just the parts that I need, and then I put that in our bills to pay folder. So again, to me, this extra step of doing that makes it so that when I go to sit down with my Sunday bin, I don't feel overwhelmed by how much stuff is in there. Lisa talks about, you know, the beauty of just tossing everything in is that you don't have to do anything with it until Sunday, right? And if that works for you, that's awesome. But even I found myself, like, some bills are very standard. Like our internet bill is the same every month, but then you have the other bills that like can kind of fluctuate, and it almost caused me anxiety not knowing how much the bill was gonna be, not knowing exactly when it's due. So I found that by opening it right away, taking a quick glance at it, like, okay, no surprises, whatever, and then putting it into my bills to pay folder, that when I went to sit down with my basket, I didn't feel like there were any surprises or unknowns in there. So for me, that brought peace of mind and made it more likely for me to sit down and do my to-do basket or my Sunday basket. Again, I don't know if that's the same for you or not, but it's something that helped me out. A third thing is to realize that you can do it on whatever day of the week that you want. And I know Lisa talks about this too, but sometimes we get caught up in this idea that it's a Sunday basket. And honestly, the last thing I want to do on Sunday night is pay bills and like all of that kind of stuff. I don't. Sunday night, I want to do nothing. So for me, I do all of my household tasks on Friday morning. But the main point of this is that we're getting this idea that all of this stuff takes time. And if we don't schedule it and if we don't have a standing date with ourselves to do it, that's when we get behind, that's when we get overwhelmed by it, and that's when we're always putting it off because it's turned into this big monster where we know if we stay up on it every week, it really isn't that big a deal. Okay, that's number 4. If we're just starting to implement this, probably we have a lot of catch up to do, and so it is gonna take time, it is gonna be stressful, but trusting that if we'll do this week in and week out for a few weeks, we're gonna get caught up, and really you will be able to do all the tasks in here in a very reasonable amount of time every week. So again, Lisa will say this too, the Sunday basket doesn't do it for you. It doesn't manage paperwork for you. It doesn't pay your bills for you or plan out your to-do list. It doesn't do it for you. It's a tool and a way to organize all of your paper and stuff that's coming in so that it's not so daunting and that it's manageable and that we really feel like we can do it. And another tip is to remember that the whole goal is to push as much stuff until the next Sunday as possible. So we're just focusing on this week that's coming and doing the stuff that has to be done for this week and this week only. And by pushing it, what Lisa talks about is that we're really filtering it. Does this really have to get done? She'll say that 50% of the stuff on our to-do list never gets done. It's impossible for us to get it all done. So by pushing it to the next week, we see the things that we're actually gonna do or that kind of expire or time themselves out. And so when you sit down with your basket, remember, you don't have to do it all. You're just doing the stuff that has to get done this week, and the rest gets pushed on to the next week, which some of us don't like, right? Because then it feels like our basket's never done, but it's never gonna be done. It's never gonna be done. So just remember that. It'll never be done, and the goal really is to push as much stuff as possible. And then tip number 5, and then I'll show you how you can make one for free, is understanding that you're not ever gonna want to do it most likely. And so it's recognizing from the get-go that probably when the time comes that you have scheduled to go through it, I mean, hopefully like set an alarm on your phone or a reminder, it goes off, your first thought is gonna be like, ugh, I don't wanna do that. I almost can guarantee that's gonna be your thought, right? And so it's saying, no, I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna anticipate how good it's gonna feel to have it done and to feel on top of all the paper clutter in our house. And so we're gonna say, nope, I don't feel like it, but I'm an organized person. I've talked a lot about how like I have to see myself as a tidy person. So now I'm also telling myself I'm an organized person. I'm a person that does my Sunday basket every week. Every week, no matter what comes up, if I have to push the time because something else comes up, it doesn't matter. I reschedule it and I keep this commitment to myself. I'm a person that does the things I say I'm gonna do. And again, the first couple weeks, right? Like this takes a little reinforcement, but I do think that as you do it week after week, you're gonna get in the habit. It's gonna feel really good to stay on top of all of your household stuff, and it won't be such a big deal anymore. Like, I don't know that you're still gonna be like, oh yay, I get to do my Sunday basket today, but I do think that it's gonna be easier. You're not gonna dread it as much, and it is gonna feel really good to develop that trust with yourself. And so what you put in your Sunday basket is unique to you, but the standard things that you'll see are file folders or slash folders so that you can have different categories of paperwork. And I like what Lisa says, that your paper dictates the categories, you don't set the categories. And so we have like bills to pay and my meal planning worksheets. And so you decide if there's kids activities you wanna have a folder for, if there's medical bills that you wanna have a folder for, a vacation you're planning, your paper basically decides the folders that you have. And then it's also nice to keep like stamps, checkbook, envelopes for paying bills, a pen. I also like to keep a little notebook in mine because you've probably heard this said before, but our brains aren't meant to be containers to hold information. Like really our brains are meant to process ideas and come up with new ideas. And so anytime we can jot stuff down to get it out of our head, it helps our peace of mind and us to feel like things are under control. So it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be super organized. It's literally just the act of writing it down so that we know it's archived if we need to go back and visit it. And we also know as we write stuff, it helps us remember it too. So it kind of reinforces the idea that we had. And so this is huge. I don't know, maybe it's just as I get older too. It's just like every thought as I'm going through things, just jot it down in here and then I don't have to think about it anymore. All right, so now let's talk about how we could set up our own Sunday basket really inexpensively. Like I always say, like, don't buy new gym shoes and new workout clothes until you have a habit of working out, right? Then invest in that stuff. And I love all of Lisa's products that she has for her Sunday basket and everything, but let's just set up something inexpensively and try it out and then reward ourselves when we actually stay on top of it, right? Okay, and so this was a 31 bag that my mom got for me at a garage sale. So I have no money invested into it and it works really well. I like that I can keep stuff in this little pocket here, put file folders in there and whatnot, and then, you know, I can put all my stuff for the week in there. So this is great, but you know, like, I don't know if you're gonna happen across a garage sale this week that you're gonna find something like that. So next best thing, it just was Christmas. We have lots of boxes floating around. So find a box that a file folder will stand up in, okay? So we need just like some kind of container. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna make this cute in a second. The other thing that is usually standard in a Sunday basket is a slash folder. You can get them at Walmart for like under $3 if you wanna go that route, or you can make your own. You can literally take a file folder, you can slash it, cut off the front. I put some scrapbook paper in here to make it cute, and then you just tape one side and that creates like the pocket, right? So here's your slash folder. The nice thing about the slash is you can see the stuff that's in it. And then again, you can create as many as you need for the different categories that you have. Also, this is a time when you plan your week. So wherever you keep your calendar, then you'll wanna have that handy as well. It might not live in the box, but you'll wanna have that with you when you sit down to do your Sunday basket. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off the flaps, and then from there you can decide, like, do you wanna spray paint it and make it cute? Do you wanna put some fabric on the outside? You could glue some fabric on, use a hot glue gun or some super glue. I'm gonna have Tom spray paint this for me quick because I have some paint that I think will work well. And then the other thing you'll probably wanna do is just create some kind of divider in here so that your file folders stand up in there. So you can create one, you can create a couple departments, you can get as fancy as you want. No one's gonna believe it's just an old cardboard box by the time we're done. But again, this is just meant for us to test it out. So test it out, see if you like this Sunday basket system, if you can stay up on it, and then you might decide down the road you wanna invest in something nicer or ask for Mother's Day or something like that. But for now, I like having like no money invested, so then if it doesn't work out for me and I decide the system isn't worked, then I just recycle it or throw it away, right? And so like I said, I think the biggest thing for me has just been not overloading my Sunday basket. When there's a ton of stuff in there, ugh, like I avoid anything like that, right? So that really has been the biggest change that has made the Sunday basket work for me. I'd love to know, have you made any changes to your Sunday basket? Have you adapted it? Have you put other fun things in it? Will you leave that down below? It's always fun to learn from you as well. But I do think you can make it work for you, even if it has not worked in the past. I totally believe in you and know that you can do it. And I want to let you know that our course, Take Your House Back, is still available. That $20 off code expires at the end of this week. So if you've been thinking about joining, find the details below and make sure you get in before then. But otherwise, I'm excited for you. Best wishes with your Sunday basket. I really think that you can do it. I love you, and I will see you again soon.